Hello, hello, hello. It's a beautiful Thursday night over here at the Axe of the Blood God Studios, Charlie and Dropout's Western Annex. Clear skies. That brisk September air. Go ahead and let me know if you have any notes on the sound mixing, and I'll see what I can do. Oh, it's been a long day. Time for that opening monologue that you all love so much. I'm a little bit sleepy, but I'm well fed. I have a nice big glass of juice. And I have a pretty good plan for how tonight's gonna go. Seems like everything probably sounds fine. Is my mic a little hot? It looks like my mic's a little hot. No, actually, it looks like my mic's doing just fine. Sounds good. Groovy, baby, yeah. It's nice to see you, Choto Momo. I have to sit up straight. That's my thing, is I need better posture while I'm doing these things. Oh. Okay. I want to try to do a little bit better job tutorializing some things as we're going to. I realize that, sometimes explaining something once isn't always the best, especially if people are watching this after the fact and want to hop in or out or whatever. I figured out a good setup for my windows, right? I think I filtered those pretty well. Here we are in our Mog house. If I had another job, this is where I would go to change into it. Or, Capricious Mithra Cubs have cajoled critical information out of the MHMU. That's right. That's starting a little side quest. If you find the Mithra Cubs around, there's one in each city-state, and if you bring them a proper flower, it gives you the ability to exit your Mog house from any residential district entrance in that city. So, you can enter your Mog house in I sent you some flowers, FYI. Well, I just so happened to be talking about this very quest line. Why, thank you. So yes, we have our lilac, our amaryllis, and our marguerite. I know off the top of my head where they are in Sandoria, but I don't know where this cub is in Bastock. But we can look this up, do this real quick. So yes, I do have a plan for tonight. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to make some more progress on our Bastock missions. Then once we reach a certain point, whenever that is, I'm hoping it's not going to take too long, then that's going to open up the next part of Rhapsodies of Vana'diel for us. And then finishing up that Rhapsodies stuff is going to give us another Rhapsody item, which is going to be another 30% permanent experience bonus. That's going to be super worth it. In total, we're going to have 60% more experience all the time. It's going to make a huge difference because once we do that, what I would like to go do is go do the quest that unlocks Paladin. Because we are... What are we at? We're at 26, so we'll get to level 30. Once you're at 30, that opens up the ability to get advanced jobs. Paladin is an advanced job. It's also going to be an excuse for us to go head to Sandoria, which will be nice. So we'll get Paladin unlocked. We can switch over to that. I'll be able to level it quick because I have all of these Rhapsodies items. Then we can set Red Mage as our sub job. Which is going to be fun, I think. So that's sort of the plan. Okay. Also, hey, how's everybody doing? Let's see. I'm looking for Vala Molcott. And yes, I could look up the exact coordinates where Vala Molcott is. Or could do a little bit of the old wide scan. That's the stuff. Steel Bones. That's a great name for a Galka. Okay, you are not over here. Over here. I can't remember. Maybe we picked up our next mission. But I don't think it should be too hard. And then, what's going to be very important about unlocking our next Rhapsodies missions is that is going to give us access to a zone called Eska Zeta. And we should be able to level there like crazy. Here, I'll just tap alert. I was looking at the missions again, and yes, of course, right there. Hello. If only someone came along with one of those red beauties. Not interested in gardening. Get this girl an amaryllis. I like this. I like the idea that this to me feels like getting the riding maps in 14. How riding maps increase your mount speed on foot, but the justification for it is that the riding maps show you shortcuts so you can get places faster. So there's a level of abstraction there that I think is really fantastic. And I like this one too, that the street urchin kids show you the back alleys and the ways around town, which is realized mechanically as the ability to leave any residential district despite having entered from another location. It's smart. It's funny. It's cute. Did we take our next mission? If so, what is it? No, we have not. I keep going the wrong place. Okay. I do think... because one of the things I would like to do is, after we clear the base game missions, it might be fun to spend a night getting relic armor. Just head into Dynamis. That would kind of be a good group thing to do too. So maybe I'll do that. My only regret is that, Dynamis Paladin stuff isn't awesome. Waiting beasts. Have I done that? I can't remember what these are called. Nations. I have not. Do I need to? I think maybe I can. Can I skip it? Because I would very much like to just go to the Emissary. First, speak to Naji of the Mithril Musketeers of the President's Office. The mission is of great import to the welfare of our nation. Yeah, of course. Fine. I believe in welfare. So I think we've gotten a fair number of basics out of the way. I think story is going to move at a bit of a steadier clip. I think one of the other things I might like to do is go get a chocobo, but we'll see. I hear you're going overseas. Usually I'd be giving you your orders, but this time, the President's aide wants to meet with you in person. You're a good guy, Naji. I don't know if the missions you've been on so far were tough for you, but this time I'm sure it's going to be a real challenge. I mean, you're going to have to go to both Sandoria and Windurst. It's not like going somewhere nearby like Gustaberg or the Kronstadt Highlands. You'll have to travel by sea, too. This is the President's room. Remember to be polite. Oh, and make sure you don't say anything that might offend him. He's really touchy. I mean, this is basically like your level 15 quest in 14. Lucius. President Karst. That is how you'll address me. Lucius, what was that about a first mission? The report from the Zarin mines, sir. About the Tailkeeper. Oh, it was Galka again. I was not informed you had met with the messenger, Lucius. As you know, there are other nations aside from our own in Vana'diel. Kingdom of Sandoria, the Federation of Windurst, and the Grand Duchy of Juno. Sure. Why? Officially to promote friendship between our nations. In reality, to investigate the internal state of those countries, and also to train you. How do you recommend I get to Windurst? Of course. Ooh, I cannot wait to take that boat. Questions. Billa! Just got to this part. Okay. You are also making good progress. You seek lion. Oh, this is great. See, I've never seen this. Of course, obviously, but... Answered her to the best of my ability. What's your connection with her? Departed some time ago, bound for either Windurst or Sandoria. Perhaps you'll come across her in the course of your activities. Can't believe that Chief Sid actually backed that guy during the elections. Letter to the consuls. Okay. Let's do Windurst first. I think that'll be fun. Also, look, we've done the walk to Selbina before. We don't have to do it again. So, navigation-wise, we want to... Oh, right, no, there's a... What am I doing? I don't need to go to my survival guide. Of course there's a crystal in Selbina. Did I get the crystal in Selbina? I have not. Okay, great. It's a good thing I got the survival guide then. I don't know all of the region's names off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Selbina isn't in Gustaberg or Elshimo. Ah, proper nouns. Here we go. Over to Valkurm. Yeah, I guess I didn't get that home point. Well, here you go. This is a reminder. Make sure you grab your home points. Oops. Sorry, I'm doing something else. I can see it. I can see it happening. Hold on. Give me a second. Here we go.
Every Canadian dairy farm has an environmental farm plan, but I also have a plan.
Okay. There we go. Oh, just some of the best music. So this is one of those stages. This song is regularly in theater rhythm. And when you play it on, one of the 3DS theater rhythms, it has a bespoke background. It looks incredible. They really do a lot of those backgrounds justice. And this is one of the first games I fired up in the Switch version, and discovering that it does not, that the Switch version in general just doesn't give unique backgrounds to the songs anymore, broke my heart. Oh, I should have asked when the next ferry actually is. Oops. I might be waiting a while. Excuse me, sir. Oh, I would like to see a chart of the sea route. Okay. I love this. Now, this is a problem that 11 and 14 both kind of have, but for sort of different reasons. Here we have the continent of Quan on the left. We have the smaller continent of Mindarsha on the right. Those southeastern islands, that is Elshimo. So Norg is down there, the sort of in one of those little, I think it's in that little inlet, I believe. No, that might be where Kazam is. I think Norg is on sort of the southwestern tip. And then you can see right in the center where those three bits of continent just sort of stick out. That is where you would find Juno. I love this map. I think it's great. It's such a classic JRPG map. Like the fact that it all kind of looks circular, like they have sort of designed it to look globular, global even. Yeah, the rounded sides just sort of show a like, maybe there's more, but this is probably just it. But yeah, you can even see faintly the border lines of how the actual zones are split up. So like Selbina, and then you can see that the surrounding area is Valkurm Dunes, and you see the border line that would go through into, what's that, Kronstadt Highlands, and then Gustaberg. I think it's wonderful. I love this map. And it shows us the route we're going to be traveling, which is incredibly charming. Oh. Less than a minute. Of course, there is more to the world than that map. But that's sort of where the problem comes in. Like that map really feels one-to-one with the regions that you actually get to explore on foot of Vana'diel. 14 has the problem where once you get past ARR, there's a bit of hypertext, you know? There's exits and entrances to areas that you just sort of have to infer. There's implied travel between a lot of the areas. And there's a bit of that in ARR too. You know, you'll see some things off in the distance that you just sort of assume that once you cross that loading zone, you have also traveled across that as well. Yeah, 11 in a lot of ways feels like a bit more of a cohesive world. But then when you get to the fidelity of 14, the fact that you can see so many, you know, landmarks off in the distance that are from other zones, that really goes a long way for me for building up the world. Of course, then you run into issues where from central Kurthis, you can see Castrum that you shouldn't be able to see. So they actually had to retcon that so that it's actually, that's another castrum that we haven't mentioned before. Oops. You run into those sorts of things. But I miss that a lot. I miss, because zones now in 14 feel so discrete and like they're separate. These are a distinct biome. They are far away from everything else. I miss that connective tissue. Somewhere like between 11 and between ARR and with a little bit of post ARR stuff, I feel like there is a perfect mix for me that gives verisimilitude, but enough, actual, like, I want that mix of travel distance, but also suggestions of the world outside of the zone we're in. I don't know, it's a tough thing to articulate, but I have strong feelings about travel in video games in general, but especially 11 and 14, because they are attempting to create a one-to-one experience. But then that's something that, like I mentioned before, the riding maps in 14, those are them admitting that this is not one-to-one. You know, they are embracing a certain level of abstraction and a certain level of sort of truncating the geography to facilitate, whatever, shorter travel times or less friction in getting to other locations. But I think writing maps are a really funny admission that, what you are experiencing as a 14 player is not the literal distance between these zones. Whereas in 11, they really go a long way to try to convince you that this is a one-to-one experience. Even though, that can't exactly be true either. Here we go. I love a ferry ride. I miss this kind of travel. I have talked about this plenty before, but that's the double-edged sword of pursuing the kind of fidelity that you get in 14, is that going for something like this where you travel other way. Where you travel a long distance and you cross a lot of land mass, that there is an expectation that that land mass you cross is also of a certain level of fidelity, and that is unsustainable and unrealistic to pursue that. Oops. Should I have not attacked this crab? No, we're going to be fine. Casting got interrupted. I was just looking into that recently, the how spell casting interruption even works. This was a bad idea. I shouldn't have fought this crab alone. I don't even have any potions or anything. Oh, dumb. Why would you risk something like that? You didn't even check it. Kids, make sure you check your enemies before you start fighting them. Okay, I'm getting lots of skill increases though. Maybe I'll be just fine. I gotta get more magic, huh? I gotta. Fast blade. I mean, we're getting paladin moves already. No experience? Come on. Okay, so this is our ferry riding music. I know the weather isn't awesome, but there's something beautiful about riding a ferry in the rain, too. Let me tell you, I'm currently over on Vancouver Island, and a ferry ride in the rain is something special. Ferry ride anytime is something special. I think ferries... Ferries or trains? Trains for practicality. Ferries are a treat. If you have a chance to ride a ferry, whatever size... Those small ferries, little ones that go to little islands that only have like, I don't know, put a couple cars on there. God, those are amazing. So a lot of the ferries here in British Columbia, they've had arcades on them for many, many years. And over the past few years, a lot of those arcades have been getting removed. As the ferries go in for maintenance, they refit that whole area and turn it into something else. And that's tragic for me. Because as a kid, those were some primo gaming memories. Played a lot of San Francisco Rush. And or Cruisin' USA or Cruisin' World, maybe? Also, Puzzle Bobble, etc. But you know, they've got like the Mario Kart GP machines on there. But there's a Tekken machine. There's a Tekken machine that has been in disrepair on one of the ferries for many years now, and last time I rode it, I asked, hey, there's a Tekken machine on one of these ferries. Who do I call? Who do I contact to say, hey, whenever you're going to get rid of this thing, let me know. I'll take it off your hands. Gave me an email. They haven't gotten back to me. But I'll be on the ferry again relatively soon. I'm going to ask again. to see if they can point me in another direction. Maybe tell me who I should hound personally, because I'd very much like to get my hands on that Tekken. My dream machine is Soul Calibur 3. There was a Soul Calibur 2 machine in the same building that used to have my dojo when I was a kid. And I loved playing Soul Calibur 2. However, one of the things I loved most about Soul Calibur 2, of course, Link not playable in the Soul Calibur 2 arcade machine. So why wouldn't I instead try to find a Soul Calibur 3 machine? They are very hard to find. If anyone has any information on where I could find a Soul Calibur 3 machine, I want that cabinet so bad. I love that rain. Also, okay, here's something great. You just go up, say hi. Hello, Captain. We're on our way to Maura. Should be there in about 3 hours. 7 minutes Earth time. Incredible. The heck are you doing, Phantom? Get out of here, pal. Where'd the rain sound go? Is it clearing up or did it just cut out? I liked it. No. Where did you go? What have we got emote-wise? What have we got? Dance 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wow. Okay. Let's open up our job emotes. There's some good ones in here. These, of course, only unlock when you unlock the job itself. Yeah, we just had our rain cut out. That's too bad. It was so soothing. I genuinely... It was so relaxing. I was having such a nice time. Come back. Also, normally in clearer weather, or maybe not on this route in particular, but depending on the route that you're traveling, you'll go past islands and you'll see stuff off in the distance. The ferry to the Near East, when you're heading to Alzabi, is particularly lovely. Yeah, maybe I should have picked up fishing. That's too bad. No, I don't have time to... I have time to get into all that. Sometimes you can see Heaven's Tower in Windurst. I don't think I knew that. That rules. Also, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. I haven't given the introduction at all, have I? This is a good time to do that. Got no sound. Welcome to Accept 11, a Charlian Dropouts community playthrough of Final Fantasy XI. Thanks to the many donations from last month's Trans Lifeline Charity Livestream, we reached our goal to do a playthrough of Final Fantasy XI in preparation for Dawn Trail's 7.1 patch and the Echoes of Vana'diel raid series. Also, just in general, I love Final Fantasy XI, and I think more people should play it. This is designed to be a watch-along if you just want to experience FF11 vicariously through someone else as they make a relatively straightforward beeline through the main story. Or hop on over to the Bahamut server, roll a character, join us. It's a good time. Tonight we're going to be making some progress in the Bastok missions. Hopefully if we wrap that up in time, we're going to do a little Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Get our next Rhapsody item. And then, if we have time after that, I'm going to go ahead and unlock Paladin. Because I think Chotomomo wants to be a Paladin. I think. And also, I want to try playing Paladin. I'm going to go be an annoying kid to the captain. 1 minute. Also. Hey, what's up? Look at that little map up there. Low res, but that's a map. That's accurate. That's a real map. Oh. Now, oh, come on. Look at that. I'm sorry. The sun coming up as the sky clears. Look at that. There's that big tree. I even love the dithering in the clouds. Something about that is just beautiful. Imagine being able to do something like this in 14, where you get to see the geography off in the distance and see landmarks. The only, the thing they are worried about in 14 is that means they have to, actually commit to what the coastline of so much of the world looks like. And that's dangerous because that boxes them in and means they'd have to retcon something later on or whatever. Anyway, that ferry ride couldn't have ended more beautifully. It couldn't have started more relaxingly, and it couldn't have ended more beautifully. God, I love this game. Welcome to Maura. also lovely music. A little more low-key than Selbina. Yes. I would love to walk through customs. Is it goodbye? Is that... Here we go. Oh yeah, we have goodbye. Also triggered by farewell. Of course, hooray. Oh yeah. I love these. Some of these you can unlock by doing some crazy stuff. Oops, I didn't even do it. There's some wild chairs out there. You can get a lot of chairs. I'm a fan of the Astral Cube. But yes, unfortunately we only get... I don't think I've ever seen a Taru hop up on the chair before. That's really cute. Okay, we gotta get going. Been here 50 minutes and we gotta make some progress. I don't think there's anything in particular that we really need to get that's super important while we're here. But I will talk for a second about Ambuscade. So Ambuscade is something you won't be doing until you're level 99. But it is sort of the battle content that is still updated every month. So there's always a two new fights to do every month, and it is sort of the kind of thing you farm to get some really good late game gear and weapons and things. So that's why there's still, they're all loading in right now, but that's why you're seeing so many people here and so many people with job mastery stars, is that this is sort of one of the places where you go to do some of the late game content. You would talk to Gorpa Mazorpa over here. But we won't be getting around to that for a very long time, which is fine. Okay, Bubarimu Peninsula. I've actually been spending a lot of time here lately in Dynamis. We've got our hieroglyphics here. Those will become important after we've finished the main story. Yeah. Bubarimu Peninsula. There's stuff around here, but we won't be getting around to a lot of it. Thank you for hopping in, Spyrus. I think you've probably already left, but appreciate you coming by to say hi. I should also... God, I gotta get a cure scroll. I'm... Bad red mage. What do we think? What's your deal? Well, leave me alone. Oh, jeez. Are you gonna wreck me? I should have summoned a trust. Should have summoned a trust. Oh. Great. I'll take it. And now I will summon my trusts. What I might also do later is I'll show off how to make a quick macro that'll summon your go-to trusts. It's very easy to make, and it'll, I don't know, just save you a few little button pushes, and it can be handy, especially if you're going back and forth. Oh, and see, now the rains have caught up. Oh. Rain and Boobarimo. I gotta get a cure. Jeez. Lesson for the night from 14 is Eureka Orthos is hard and mean. It sure is. Yeah. Agreed. I've had some pretty cursed runs in Orthos. Quicks, you started in Windurst, didn't you? Heading there right now. Didn't a bunch of y'all start in Windurst? I'm not allowed to say y'all. That's rude. Yeah, there aren't many things that I would like to be updated in 11 graphics-wise, okay? I think the game looks pretty lovely. However, I would love, and I know there are ways to do this that I will not be talking about, but... Oh, I gotta get my survival guide. I do wish draw distance was something we had more control over. I would just crank that puppy up. Let me see as far as the mountains go. Because there's a lot of pop-in of stuff off in the distance that I wish I wasn't dealing with. That's one of those things that takes me out. Not that I think I need to be immersed and believe that I am in a real space, but it's like I would like to have a better idea of the geography. And I think when you have mountains miles away, malms away, popping in, that's one of those things that can get in the way of understanding a space. Tarongi Canyon. Okay, while we are here, let's go. Yeah, we should go get those. No reason not to. Which one is this? The Crag of Maya. I'll remember my trusts this time. Let's bring out Luzoff. Just 'cause. I miss him. I like him a lot. I'm past the point where I'll ever get a chance to interact with him ever again. So that's one of those sad things about just sort of the way 11 works is more often than not when you are done with a story, it's probably not going to see them again. If their character is as important as Luzoff or even Lion, Prish, all those characters, the fact that they are behind doors kinds of NPCs is a bit of a bummer. While we're walking around and talking about draw distance and graphics updates and things like that, I do want to talk a little bit about, so back in, I want to say 2017, there was announced by Nexon and Square a mobile-based remake of Final Fantasy XI. We don't know what it was gonna look like mechanically, but we do have some shots. I believe it was some people who worked on it had shots of it in their portfolio. There was quite a bit of leaked screenshots, and it looked like the geography was the same. It was mostly just a major graphical update. And I imagine, combat and things like that were probably streamlined. I bet they restructured the missions system and stuff like that. Probably just a lot of quote unquote quality of life changes. But it was a real thing that was really happening. One of the assets that also got leaked with it was they had made a world map that was really in line with how 14 does their world maps, including like little symbols for the city states and things like that. And it was really nice. You can find those screenshots are still up. I'm sure if you look up, FF11 canceled mobile game or whatever, those will pop up. But yeah, for a long time, I think we sort of went like 3 years without hearing anything, and then eventually it was sort of confirmed that it had been canceled. But who knows what that would have been like? Streamlined touchscreen controls, probably. I bet it would have been free to play. Maybe, a console version probably at some point. Or maybe the fact that they couldn't figure out how to make it effectively free to play was a factor. I'm sure there are probably people at Square who, stewards of the brand. I'm sure Motomu Toriyama or, people who are in charge of the kinds of people who get to make decisions that affect Final Fantasy as the mainline entities. They probably get some say in what sort of things happen there, and I'm sure there is someone who spoke out loudly against the idea of a numbered mainline Final Fantasy being made as a free-to-play game. There's some fun trusts. Cute setup you got there, pal. But then, at the same time, say you charged $30 for Final Fantasy XI Mobile, and then, charged a subscription fee for a mobile game? That nobody's... No matter what your value assessments are, that's going to cause a ton of outcry. honestly. I've been playing a bit of Phantasy Star Online 2 lately, and that's a free-to-play MMO. I think some of the monetization kind of sucks. The loot box stuff, I think, kind of sucks. The rolling for the gacha, which is, to their credit, mostly just cosmetic stuff. But on top of that, then you have things like the premium subscription, which is, I don't know, I think it's like $8 a month or whatever. And that is almost purely quality of life improvements. So it's like storage space, the ability to sell items at the auction house. Mostly storage space is the big one, because they just inundate you with materials and things, and stuff that, is going to be important later on. But the fact that there's this sort of, like, I would just pay the subscription every once in a while. If you said PSO2 has a $10 subscription, I would just do that for a couple months and play it a bunch and make a lot of progress in it. But instead, you've got this premium subscription that is quality of life stuff that feels like it should just be in the game anyway. Feels like they're withholding from you. And then on top of that, there's also the gacha and the loot stuff. So yes, it's free to play, and you can get through it free to play for sure. It's what I'm doing. I'm actually enjoying it quite a bit, because PSO2 is really two games. There's PSO2, which is very much the sequel to PSO1, surprisingly. Functions a lot like it in ways that I think are very, very beautiful. And then you get PSO2 New Genesis, which is kind of more trying to be a Genshin-y sort of thing. Trying and, I don't know, succeeding in some ways, and it sounds like for a lot of people who play, it's failing in a lot of other ways, but I've had a good time with it. It has made the Phantasy Star Online brand lean a little too moe for me. First of all, you're going to see player characters that just look wild. If there's ever been a case for 14 having relatively limited character customization options, it is PSO2. People go buck wild. To the point where I find it kind of distracting and annoying, and I don't know. You can still get plenty of that in 14, but it's usually just because, it's someone dressed as a chicken. Whoa. Whereas in PSO2, it's someone just rolled in with the hugest boobs you've ever seen. And thighs that are a dozen times the circumference of her waist. And she's dressed like an e-girl. As someone who loves the OG Phantasy Star Online aesthetic, just think it's... Especially, I like casts. As a race, I think casts are great. I really like their designs in the original PSO. And I think the biggest sin that PSO2 committed is that They just kind of made female casts into also just the same kind of looking anime girls, but now they have visible robot joints. Like, that wasn't the point of casts in PSO. They still looked like robots. Yeah, making my way. But no, as far as a free-to-play game goes, I'm enjoying PSO2. I don't think the story is going to get particularly interesting, but I have heard that there is a chapter that does some OG Phantasy Star stuff, which I'm really excited to see. And I don't know, some of the characters and some of the NPCs and NPC designs I think are actually quite good. But anyway, I imagine, people at Square saying, we are not going to let this happen to Final Fantasy. These are premium games. And if we're going to do an online mainline Final Fantasy, gosh darn it, it's going to have a basic subscription service the way God intended. That's not a... I already got the book. Yeah. Oh, lally ho, JS Road. You are in time for a chill Final Fantasy XI stream. I'm chatting while we explore. Hey, look at us. We're in Saruta Baruta. That means we're getting groovy tunes. And we're very close to Best Nation? I'm not afraid to say it. Let's get Lion out here too. Again, I like to give Lion something to do because the writers of Final Fantasy XI sure didn't. Oh, it's funny every time. And Luzoff's my dude. I like him a lot. Yeah, we can get to Windurst. Right? One of these guys down here? Can we just hop down? Yeah. Is there anything we want to grab here? No, I don't think so. Just making a beeline for Windy. I realized a couple months ago that I was trying to play 14, 11, PSO2 and PSO2 New Genesis at the same time, and I realized Got to pare this back a little bit. I'm going to prioritize, reshuffle these around, and I'll get to some of these later. I worry though, because it sounds like PSO2 New Genesis isn't in the best state. So I have to wonder how much longer it's going to be available, which is a really sad thing to say, because I would be very bummed if they didn't make an offline version of PSO2. Ah, look at that. Hey, the feeling of arriving at Maura at dawn and trekking through Tarongi Canyon, Bubarimu Peninsula, Tarongi Canyon, and Saruta Baruta over the course of a day is really lovely. Like, it feels like time. This is a hike. Not as perilous as our trip to Juneau, but it's still, there's a hike there. You're investing time. And, come on, great music. Hey! Hello! Taco Bella! Lovely to see you. Great lock style. I approve. That archangel look. Hey! Loborodo. Of course. Lovely to see you. So what I am going to go do is... thank you all for coming to meet me, by the way. That's very sweet. Where's the entrance again? Is it down, all the way down? Must be. That's where all you guys came from. Nice to see your noble chocobo as well. Congratulations. It is beautiful. It's a really good mount. I'm a little bit bummed that this month's login mounts are a little on the weaker side, but okay. What are we at? It's 8:15 right now. Let's just keep going with this. So, mission, nations, emissary. I want to go to the consulate. And I believe that is Consulate of Sandoria. Where is Bastocken Consulate? Waters? The Rhinostery. Consulate of Sandoria. Consulate of Bastock is in Windurst Waters. Okay. Well, then let me grab some home points. This is nice and familiar. This is where I started my first character in Windurst. So I am fond of it. I like it a lot. My main started in Sandoria. I like Windurst more though. We have our performers. We could also go talk to, I think we can get some trusts from Witada. You already know about Trustaroo. Yeah. Kupipi. Where are all our... I want to get this home point over here. Yes, you can get mounts. You won't be able to ride them until you also have your chocobo. But yes, the easiest way to get mounts is through the login campaign. There are definitely others that you can get through other means, but some of the honestly coolest and easiest ones are through the login campaign. Yeah. We'll go to Walls. We'll go get the Kupipi Trust. We could also... we could go visit a pretty well-known Final Fantasy XI NPC, I guess. We'll just stop by. We'll see what she's up to. Oh, I'm not starting that yet. Tales beginning. Great. Thank you. Well, that kind of spoiled it, huh? Wait, where am I? Oh, yeah. Why do I feel like I never enter this zone from here? This feels weird. For everyone else who's making story progress, have you also done the Emissary quest? Have you all been officially to the other city-states, not just wandered there on your own because? Okay, well, you don't count, Oshada. You- Currently doing the emissary quest. Arrived at your first of 2 in Sandoria. Okay, well, I'm right where you are. Okay. Iwan Biwan. This is Dr. Shantoto's Peeping Tom. Yeah, I was realizing, I was looking at the mission list today for just to get to 5-2, and I realized, man, when you know what you're doing, that could just go by like nothing. There's our dear Shantoto. Agree to help? Yeah, let's agree to help. Bomb ash and bone chips. Can do. Someday. That is a good quest line, though, and it's one that I believe we have to do if we want to do Summoner? You just wanted Dynamis access. Yeah. I also want Dynamis access. Now that I've been, and I know how easy it is to farm those relic gear, like, I don't know. Yeah, I know it's the hero house for Summoner, but don't you have to have done the Shantoto quest? Or what am I thinking of? It's something I did recently that I was trying to unlock that I realized I needed to have done like the first 2 or 3 Shantoto quests for. Okay, then what am I thinking of? I don't know why I keep opening my map. I know where I'm going. Winter's Waters. One of the things, so I've been reading a lot of the Vana'diel Tribune, and one of the things that they include in it is, and it's something that I thought was really interesting, and that they've kind of stopped doing in, I think they've stopped doing in some of the Encyclopedia Eorzeas. I don't know, maybe I'm misremembering, but one of the first things they do is they give you like the census sort of breakdown of the cities. So like, I'm pretty sure Windurst is, 80% Taru. I was about to say Lalafell. Jeez. And, 20% Mithra. Something like that. But I remember that being one of the first things I read about 14 cities that just suddenly like, that's one of those little details that you don't really think about, but really kind of sets the stage for the place you're in. I don't know. I think it's one of those ones that I think is cool. It's a detail you don't always necessarily think about. You're like, oh yeah. Because then I was looking at the slides that Iwao was showing off at the 2007 Fan Fest, and yeah, sure enough, one of the first things on there, much like early 14 lore, is he talks about the migratory patterns of the races, like who landed where and who moved across what ocean and who, populated a certain region first. I don't know. I like that stuff. And I'm really hoping that if Echoes is not in another shard or whatever, I hope it gives us a bit of an idea, because I don't know, I feel like it could do a good job at explaining, I don't know, like the origins of some of the races and things like that, especially if part of it is taking place in the past, maybe. I don't know. It would be nice. It'd also be nice if they touched on the flavor text of the 11 race minions from Eureka, but who knows? Where am I going? What was I doing? Oh, yeah, the consulate. Bastock Consulate. I guess it's in South Waters? Rhinostery? Hatter? What? Where are these places? Where's the Bastock Consulate? I am looking it up. Consulate of Bastock. In Port Windurst. Who told me it was in Waters? Quicks, you monster. That's okay. Momo's getting her steps in. She's unlocking her home points. Speaking of, I'm gonna head over here and grab this field guide too. Sorry, gang, but I think Windurst has the best music. Okay. Consulate of Bastock. I do have business. Hello? Oh, you're pretty. You've got... Is that unique hair? Who are you? Is that an NPC with a unique model? Huh. Maybe? Right? I don't recognize that hair. Yeah. Look at her. Why does she get a unique model? Shantoto doesn't even have a unique model. Melik, you're amazing. The mission from our comrades in Windurst entails the oblation of magic weapons to Gideus, the front line to the abode of the Yagudo beastmen. One of the magic weapons to be dedicated to Gideus will be handed to you at Heaven's Tower here in Windurst. Your orders are to help carry those magical weapons to the Yagudo treasure chamber deep beneath Gideus. You look perplexed. Yes, well, I guess if you put it frankly, you are carrying a tribute to a pack of beastmen. You see, in order to maintain the peace of their country, the Windurstians have formed amicable relations with the Yagudo. But as you've probably realized, it's hard to call their relationship amicable when you witness the outrageous behavior of the Yagudo. So we have to try to curtail the beastmen's military potential without losing the trust of Windurst. That's where your real purpose comes in. Goldskull, please explain the rest of the mission. After receiving the magical weapons from Heaven's Tower in the Windurst Walls district, you are to return here to the Consulate of Bastok and present the weapons to us. We will exchange these with a different weapon, which you will take to Gideus as an offering instead. Do you understand your orders? Of course, the fact that we are switching weapons is to remain top secret. We're forbidden from meddling in the internal affairs of another country. However, we wish to save Windurst from its dangerous predicament. Well, you'd better get going. I pray that your mission is a success. Huh. Cool. Like how there are NPCs in Sandoria, or I guess that Windurst would even consider an alliance with the tribe. Yeah. Get a Gideus key while you're at it to get the Kazam airship. Oh, okay. Sure. Sure. Okay. Let's head over to... Oh, let's grab this crystal while we're here. We could also go get fishing while we're here. No, I must resist. I simply cannot. Woods? No. God. This is the one that always confuses. Walls. Walls. Only fish on ferry rides is my rule. That's smart. That is the one thing that I do sort of regret about this kind of being I gotta keep things moving along. Because I would love to just I love talking to the NPCs in this game. There really is a lot of good world building and a lot of interesting stuff going on. Ah, here we go. Heaven's Tower. Time for a good tune. There she is. There's my girl. The Agado are just using the frightened Taru to get more and more supplies. Representative here in Heaven's Tower won't listen to me, but I'm certain that most of the weapons and food that are offered are just sold to other beastmen around Vana'diel. With all this talk of a new leader bringing the beastmen forces together, I just hope that Windurst opens its eyes in time. There's something else? You say my father told you to seek me out. This is fun. This is all in a weird order, and it's cool. Because, of course, you could have not done Rhapsodies yet, and we wouldn't have this conversation. Been trying to figure out as much as I can about the strange portals that link our Vana'diel to another dimension. But we've got other problems to deal with first. Let's worry about it once we've finished our current mission. I'll meet you at the Cave of Maya in Tarongi Canyon once we've got that burden off our shoulders. Or we could catch up at Dem Morhala, if that's preferable to you. I love... Whenever there's anything that has to happen at a crag, everyone makes sure that you know, you can go to any of them. Remember to see the missions posed to you by your home nation to completion first, though. Can do. She's great. I love her. What a design. This is one of the 11 songs that they played last time I went to go see New World. Which, honestly, I kind of prefer those shows to Distant Worlds. I like the smaller orchestra. Kupipi is usually my healer trust of choice. She's not great, but I like her. Of course, Chotomomo, my trust in you is unwavering. Ah, yes. She's probably over in Windurst Woods. I do want to get an amigo. In general, just remember to talk to NPCs a couple times. If something doesn't seem to be working, maybe you just need to talk to them again. Sometimes missions have weird priority orders. Interesting. What else you got for me? All right. It's too bad we never got, more hairstyles or anything like that. I understand why we didn't get more races, because I think the fact that the 5 races are so tied to the lore and history and world building and stuff, that makes sense. But, I don't know. I'm going to be running into a lot of these situations. We can hold out the dream. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, I don't know, seeing if they pull off the whatever our Fantasia option is going to be. Who knows? Port Windurst. That's fine. Was a little ambitious of me to think that we'd get around to all of this mission plus Rhapsodies. But also, whatever, it's 8:45. We'll see where we're at in the next hour or so. Here we go. Hello, Strom. Yeah. Do all the consulate NPCs have unique models like this? Okay. Take that sword to Gideus. I don't know if there's anyone else here who also needs to do this, but I would be happy to party up if that is the case. Gideus. Entrances from west. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Help get the keys. Right. I have forgotten what all of this entails. Oh boy. As far as Beastmen places, though, I think I like Gideus more than Castle Ostroya. I get real turned around over there. Let's see. Entry to Gideus is yeah. In there, of course. Yes. Why was I here? I spent a lot of time here in the Shadow Rain version of this map. What was I doing? Oh, I think there was a drop from something here that I needed, maybe for the Dancer questline or something. Anyway. I like West Saruta Baruta. And of course, we will pick up our survival manual, survival guide. Wonder if... I don't know what level the mobs are in here. It would be nice if I could get a level or two, but I ain't gonna be picky. Probably won't be getting around to unlocking Paladin tonight anyway. And that's okay. Now, to me, this sounds like a Kumi Tanioka tune to me, but based on the division of duties, this should be a Mizuta song, which I guess I can also hear. guess I don't need to follow the path. I can actually take the shortest route. Okay. Lion. Who's off? Let's get Kupipi out here. Ah, are you, I guess you're also... You also doing this one? Great. Good. We will be in adjacent parties. I mean, we could just party up, but... Okay. Let's see. Isn't that... I think that's for a... Isn't that one for a burning circle? Down at the home point? Maybe it's map 2 that I want. Yeah, okay. Let's make our way over to map 2. Oh, hello! I was on the right track. Here we go. We are making progress. What, you got some fancy running shoes on? Why are you so fast, lady? That ain't fair. I just want to say hi to you. Oh, yeah? Billa, I'm assuming you are also needing to accomplish this mission, correct? Groovy. This is exactly what this stream was made for, then. Hello, everyone. Hello. Ah, hello. Should we, should we... What does he drop? Doesn't he drop something? Yeah, right? We want to get him. Oh, yeah. I roughed you up. Billa, do you also need that item? Because if you don't have that item, you will also need to get that item. Oh, does he drop one? Yeah. So I think... Right? Are you indicating that Billa should kill that guy? Get yourself some head armor. What are you doing out here, huh? Ah, yes. Okay. Oh, right. Never mind. My apologies. What's your... 29 black mage, 14 white mage. Do I need? Don't I just need the knife? I could have sworn I just needed the knife. Oh, yeah. That's actually a great idea. I'm also going to grab a drink of water. Be right back. I'm back. I'm back. Oh gosh. Okay. Let's roll. Huh. That's pretty easy, you know? He's right there. Oh, did I not get it? 'Cause my items are full? Ah. You fool. I gotta get rid of this stuff. Bugger. Okay. Well, that's alright. I'll spawn back in a second. I can't believe it's right here, too. This is... You know... Didn't seem this easy. When I did this the first time. Let me tell ya. Okay. Go wait for this loser again. Oh, if I want to invite you, yeah, sure. I think I have to release my trusts. Oh boy, one of these days One of these days I'm going to figure out how to invite people to a party. What is it? What's the... Did that not work? Been invited. You are looking for a party, and I am the party you're looking for. Right? There we go. Hey. Give me that knife. Groovy. You're not... Did you not get in the party? I think you have to /join, right? Or respond to request. Okay. Is there any reason I should stick around, or can I... Oh, I guess... Oh, I want those... I do want some necklaces, don't I? If I want the Nanamigo trust. Yes, I've traded the thing to the guy. Faux lullaby for Bard. What are the keys you're trying to get? And do we have to be here for it, or can I go ahead and warp back? The keys? Right. Okay. Here we go. Warping. And we head back to Port Windurst. It's 9:15. Let's say we'll go until 10. I think we can at least make some pretty good progress in our Sandoria mission, if not finish it. I feel confident in that. Where did I just go? Over here. Well, I did a bad job. Thanks, Melik. All right. Mission complete. So... Ah, Billa, you're also Bastocken. Then off we go to Sandoria. And lucky for us, we don't have too far to go. Part of me wants to go Juno through Battaglia Downs, but I think maybe... Pasha Marshlands, Rollenberry Fields. No, let's do... So North Coast of Bogas to No. Lathen? Lathen Plateau? Is that where we went? Or did I not get a... Did I not get a thing there? No. Kronstadt Highlands. No. Velcrum Dunes. Yeah. Yes. Right. Velcrum to Lathen. Cool. There's a lot of Taru around here. Does everybody play Taru? I feel bad for picking Taru. Alright, let's bring out a buddy just in case. I need some short buddies so they stop getting in the way of my camera. And another big hike. What can I talk about this time? Ooh, I think someone might have brought this up on the Discord recently, but the We Are Vana'diel website was made for the 20th anniversary, and it is incredible. Just the interviews page alone has pages and pages and pages, like truly dozens of interviews with Square employees, past and present. Koji Fox is in there. Yoshi P is in there. Foxclon. Koichi Ishii. Hiromichi Tanaka. As well as the ones that I really like are the ones that were sort of done in the past year. And that's when they talk to specifically, they'll usually have, the producer and the director and a writer from a particular expansion. And they'll sort of do a deep dive into what the experience was like writing for that expansion, whether the work environment had changed on 11 recently, what was kind of going on, what was affecting their workflow, what decisions they had to make about what to keep and what to throw out, kind of stuff. It's really, really interesting. I would probably recommend reading them after you've cleared a particular expansion, but they're there and they're very good. Really, all the interviews are great. The site also has a timeline that you can break down into like what was going on, like what had just been released in the game at that point, and then there's also developer commentary on those things. It's really cool. It gives you a good sort of breakdown of what features they were adding and what was happening in game. And there'll be footnotes about like what was going on with the community around then, like what sort of metas had emerged in the game at these particular times. And I think it's really cool that they were on top of all that stuff and responding to it and interested in it, and sometimes quashing stuff and also sometimes adapting to stuff. it's been brought up before, but even the fact that there was no windowed version of the game until 2007 is pretty interesting. And I think, Yoshi P sort of has an interesting relationship with third-party tools and things like that, because he really says, like, if there is something that people are making third-party tools for that is a workaround to make something work in 14, then he will just find a way to implement that thing. It's like how people were using macros to count down to pull times. There was a time where people would just set up a macro and it was, pulling in 5, 4, 3, and they would separate their messages in their macro so that everyone just had a countdown timer. And of course, that's something that is handy to have and works. So, after a little while, they eventually just built in a countdown timer. But yeah, I think at the very least, recognizing what people are having to like bend over backwards to do something that really does kind of make sense and isn't game breaking, is just sort of, improving communication is obviously a good thing to react to and adapt to. But yeah, We Are Vana'diel is an incredibly good website. Also has tons of high-ish resolution versions of a lot of images and illustrations and stuff. I wish some of them were a little bit better. I think they're still a little small. I know you got higher resolution scans out there. But yeah, for interviews and illustrations, you've tainted your playthrough. You sold an Acheron shield. Are you trying for some pure experience bullshit, Zell? I'm gonna... You don't need to do that. I will strangle you with my bare hands. It's not cheesing money. You don't need to worry about that. Stop. You only had 3K. Yeah. Guess what? There's an easy way to get money, and they built it into the game. Yes, I will go do... Oh, yeah. I'm going to go get that field guide, too. You don't need to buy skill books. Honestly, you don't. You truly don't. Your skill will build up through normal playtime. I can't tell when you're joking anymore. You're a monster. I don't know. You don't know dick about this game. I don't know what weird choices you're going to make. You're just setting arbitrary rules for yourself in a world you don't understand. Stop. We are giving advice because these are things that work well. Some shortcuts are good. If it's just preventing you from grinding for hours for Gil, just use the nice little shortcut that I told you about. The little shortcut that is part of the many tips and tricks that I have created this series for. That no, Zell, shut up. You don't need to go longer. You are not going to replicate any kind of old FF11 experience. If you want that experience, go. Okay, I can't believe I'm saying this on the stream, but go play on a private server. Go play Horizon if you want that. I'm not saying don't find a petrified log. Hi, Red Cloud 16. Thanks so much for being here. I'm sorry you haven't found me at one of my more shining moments. But I've been dealing with this wonderful man's bullshit for 3 years. Good. I love FF11. Thank you for being here. Look, I get it. There are some things where I feel like, that's a little bit of a cheat. Like, there's a quest where what you're supposed to do is have several players in your party all stand on a platform at the same time. In a perfect world, there would be enough people that believe me, I tried shouting in that area to get someone to come over and stand on that platform. And no one showed up. This isn't FF14. You're not playing that game. This is a different one. This is 11. It's different. The expectations are different. you're also never going to replicate the experience. There are so many changes. You know what? Go for it. Walk everywhere. You know what? You know what happened? We run 10% faster than we used to. So why don't you just go ahead and add 10% more time to wherever you walk? I love Lethen Plateau. I think it is so beautiful, and I love going up these little switchbacks to get up the hill. We're not fighting. Dad's just a dumbass. Making mom's life harder. Anyway, the Lethen Plateau is beautiful. I genuinely love the shifting biomes. It really feels like it happens pretty naturally, too. Again, something that I feel we sort of lose in 14. Because there is that implied distance between zones. You don't get as much of a natural shift. Hello, Ma. I'm just saying, we've given this advice for a reason. Use your sparks. Get armor. You're not going out and, only wearing armor that you've found from treasure chests in dungeons. Wear your sparks armor. Spend your sparks. Spend spare ones on a couple Acheron shields every once in a while so you don't have to worry about money. Zell, you will. You will spend sparks to upgrade equipment. Because you will not want to go through organically gearing up through drops. Just an all-timer song. Honestly, an Uematsu, great. Zell, we are giving you this advice for a reason. You don't need to prove anything. Just please, play through the game at a pace so that we can all enjoy it together. All I've ever wanted to do. I've tried 11 3 times over the decades. First during its heyday, played for a week but didn't sub after. Second time, tried during college. Didn't understand you needed to group up. Got to 18, couldn't go further. Lost access, oh man. Tried a third time in 2020, finally stuck. You know what? My journey was a bit similar. I've tried to hop in at several different points in my life. And 2020 is absolutely when it stuck. Trust helped a lot, for sure. But also, just the hipster in me. Needed so badly to play the Final Fantasy that everyone says you don't need to play. And sure enough, I discovered it is absolutely the Final Fantasy that everyone should play. Not everyone, but people who want to. It's better in design than most modern MMOs. I 100% agree, because the 11 is not built around, outside of, Seekers, it's not built around time-gated stuff. It's not really, early 11 isn't built around the grind, or, and I mean early as in like early levels, you're not, the difficulty comes in just accomplishing the task, not bashing your head against a wall every day for months. Fell in love with the 11 characters in Dissidia. Yeah, man. Yeah. I also fell in love with the characters in Dissidia. I love Prish. It's been really encouraging to have people in this community say that you can play 11 vanilla. Yeah, I know. It's great. Even when I was getting started, so many beginner's guides on starting 11 also include so much stuff about how, like, well, first of all, there's a ton of stuff that's just about private servers. And then there's so much stuff about, like, here's all the mods you should get to make FF11 playable in 2021 is, I think, when I was looking at it. Trying to look into, what I could do to make the experience a little smoother. And then I realized, screw it, man. I'm just going to play the game. So I said on some of the early streams was that, like, part of why I am just playing vanilla is I want to showcase what the game looks like, what they have decided to put resources in, what parts of the game they have paid attention to, just what they focus on now and what they even can. Because I'm sure there's plenty of things that they could do, but doing those things would, open up other design problems, or, I hate when people say that the game needs to be modded to be playable. It feels disrespectful. Yeah, I absolutely agree. The HD mods for 11, there's some, boy, it's interesting to see what people think looks better. Because some of the stuff in those mods are real rough. I was just saying earlier while we were riding the ferry, and just the dithering in the clouds, I love. It's, I've been talking about this a lot lately, and I recently had a tweet about it kind of blow up a little bit, because I was talking about how the Dreamcast and sort of just, I don't know, hardware of this era, it's console to Bastock. These are games that are so in conversation with the hardware that they are made for. This was not an age of being able to make a game entirely through middleware. This is games of this era are made by people who have intimate knowledge of hardware, and regularly are also the people who consulted on that hardware or helped program that hardware, or are invested in that hardware somehow. So, I mean, the fact that this game was made on PS2 is important. Sandoria is locked in battle with the Orcish horde. It's tough on the townsfolk. They can't even go outside without fearing for their lives these days. The royal house is trying to suppress the beastmen, but with so much intrigue in the royal family, they can take decisive action. But I shouldn't keep you here too long. I don't know the details of your special assignment myself. It's still made on PS2, yeah. They're literally working with PS2 hardware, developer hardware, that will break someday, and it doesn't get made anymore. So, I don't know. Entropy will eventually take Vana'diel, as it will our very universe. You are to head to Chateau Doragil and speak to the Sandorian Monarle Lord Halver. He'll tell you all you need to know. Leave this building and you'll see a great fortress to the right. That's Chateau Doragil. And be polite. Sandorians can be quite touchy. Hilaku is a little drunk, I've decided. Chateau. Wait, where am I going? Oh, there's what was the thing I was thinking of? Is the our Mithra Cub over here. Yes, flower. Hello, hello. I wonder if I can just give this to you. Oh no, I guess I need to know what kind of flower you want. Full of pretty flowers. Which one do you want? Marguerite? Night Quicks. Thanks for hanging out. Again, just a brilliant abstraction. Learning the back roads being the thing that lets you exit to any area from your residence. It's just smart. It's clever. It's fun. I'm sorry I yelled at you, Zell. I just think you're so stupid. I get it. I truly do. You're just a monster. The 21st century's greatest monster. An adventurer from Bastok, are you? Consul Halaku sent word about you. You look able, that's for sure. Well, you may never reach the glory of the Royal Knights, but do good work, and you'll be rewarded accordingly. Here is our dilemma. The Orcs have set up a front-line base of operation in a place called Gelspa Outpost, northwest of Sandoria. You're familiar with the Khadav, no? Well, Orcs are just like them, a vicious and barbaric race, and quite stupid to boot. The problem is those Orcs have been showing signs of intelligence lately. They've started using ranged weapons, even machines of war. Our investigation indicates that someone is behind the Orcs, supplying them with weapons. We want you to find a cavern deep in Gelspa Outpost, a place called Ugot Grotto. We've sent many an adventurer to Ugot Grotto, but few have returned, and we are desperate for knowledge. There may be some danger involved, but if you provide us with useful information, formal recognition from the Kingdom of Sandoria will be yours. Let me give you something to further the cause. Well, thank you, Halver. Investigate the Ugot Grotto, deep inside the Gelspa Outpost. Hello, Fori. Ugot Grotto. We need to go through... Yes. Yeah. Gelspa. We'll go get usual go-to home point. Might as well. Did you make your way to the CZAC battlegrounds? Did you try to get into some seekers? Ah. Yeah, I have zero experience with Geomancer. I mean, yeah, 14 probably isn't going to add it because they've, sort of incorporated it into the lore of Astrologian, which is sort of too bad. Okay. Got Grotto. Oh, yeah, right. Galspot Outpost. Yeah, okay. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. I told you, Zell, that we could turn going to Adulin into a fun little field trip. We could all help each other get there and accomplish goals together. It's not holding anyone up when I propose it as a fun field trip. The whole point is to take some little side trips to places. I want to make sure that we get people their summoner, we get people their geomancer or rune fencer or whatever. I'm sure we'll find some people who maybe want to play dancer. I miss dancer. I love Dancer. That's going to be my job forever and always. But yeah, no, the point is to party up. It's Final Fantasy XI. For God's sake. Oh, if you could add a job to 11, what job would it be and why? That's a great question. You know what would be really funny? I would love if, first of all, I would. Sal just got his comeuppance. Good. No, I want things to go well for him. I just want him to not be the way he is. I thought I could change him. I wasn't in love with Zell. I was in love with the idea of a Zell that doesn't exist. What I was going to say is, what I would love is, let's say, in my perfect world, Echoes of Vana'diel reignites a passion for Final Fantasy XI. Subscriptions skyrocket. The numbers are incredible. And they can't help but say, hey, let's have another go. Let's do even like a Rhapsodies or Voracious Resurgence level chunk of content. But with that comes another job. I would honestly love if a new job was a job that is in 14 but is not in 11. And instead of how like 14 took abilities and things from 11 and modernized them and turned them into a 14 style job, I would love to see 11 take a 14 job and like demake it into an 11 style experience. So like, whatever, there are scythes in the game already. Let's say they add Reaper into 11, but all of it, it plays like an 11 job, but using mechanics and ideas and philosophies from 14. I think that would be very fun. So in that case, I don't know. It would be tough. I mean, you could do. Well, no. Part of Gunbreaker is that it uses gun blades, and you can't really be a gunbreaker unless you are using a gun blade. So it wouldn't quite work for that. But I feel like, yeah, Reapers could work. Obsessed with demakes. Red Cloud, we're gonna get along just fine. Let's see. Whereabouts should I be being? Galspa Outpost. Yeah? Oh. You got Grotto? Can I get there from there? Does that work? I guess so. I was also thinking of Necromancer, yeah. Especially because even in FF5 Advance, you hardly get to use Necromancer. I would love to be able to play with that job for more than just the end of 5. Let me drop. Sorry, I have not looked up my directions beforehand, so I'm experimenting. I'm going for a little walk. Zell, I hope to God you've been doing your Rhapsodies of Vana'diel quests. I don't even want to... Shouldn't have even brought it up. I don't even want to look at your answer. I'm not looking at it. I see you wrote something. I can't look at you right now. I feel so betrayed. Some add a Berserker to 11 and 14. We don't do anything other than engage. Yeah. That rocks. Yeah. You got Grotto. Oh, except, are there multiple maps to this? Am I in the right you got Grotto? Is this gonna work for me? Whatever. Let's look around. Let's find out. Gotta go to the top of the hill. Ah, narts. Okay. Okay. No, that makes sense. You're right. I understand completely. Zell gonna tell me he's not using warp points. Let's go. I'll go the way I came. 4 points is cheating. Oh, is this? No, past here. Yep. I can read a map. My favorite FF11 job is always going to be my favorite job in anything, and that is Blue Mage. Every game that has a Blue Mage is a good game. And Blue Mage is always the best job in that game. The only mistake Final Fantasy Dimensions ever made is not having Blue Mage. But second would probably be Dancer. Wait, top of mountain. Gelspa Outpost. Oh, you got Grotto. I'm just going to look at this. Orlais Peak. Orlais Peak. Fort Gelspa 4. Yes, trusts are also cheating. I hope you're not using trusts. I feel like I've been gravely misrepresented. Well, then you shouldn't have represented yourself as a dumbass. I'm joking. I'm sorry. You're great. I just... I'm showing off the shortcuts and the tips and tricks for a very good reason. You're wonderful. I don't need to come for you. You're fine. I'm just being mean. It's just truly the first thing I found out about your 11 playthrough was that you weren't using sparks effectively. Literally the first tip and or trick that I presented. The entire crux of the modern Final Fantasy XI early game experience. Oh, you're fine. I like you. I'll be nicer. I'm sorry. You're not a dumbass. You're very smart. And very cool. I gotta find these dang maps. Why am I having such a hard time? I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab my atlas because that treats me better than this wiki. Boy, it's 10:15. What am I even doing? Okay. was Gelspa. Where would I be? Run for Gerusuba. Page 99. Oh. This is the best purchase I've ever made in my life. I love this book so much. Recently found an 11 Atlas at a secondhand store for cheap. It had little notes of paper from the previous owner. That's so charming. I have the Brady Games Atlas, but then I am also working from the Final Fantasy XI Area Master's Guide version 110215. I picked this baby up while I was in Japan, and there is just enough Romaji and just enough katakana that I can get my way through all of these proper nouns. Not Romaji, just normal fucking Roman letters. I know that's not Romaji. I'm smart. Gosh. I can read hiragana and katakana. I do not have much kanji under my belt, but the katakana is enough to navigate some maps. Oh, are you here? Okay, fine. Where are you? Where are you? Where'd you go? Oh. What? How'd you get in there? You're in a... Oh, you're probably on the other map? How'd you get in that little secret spot? Where are you? Oh, now I'm going backwards. Good Lord. It's late. I'm tired. I would like to restate that Zell is my friend and I like him. He's an important cornerstone of our community and I love and respect him. He got called a cop during last Saturday's meetup. Well, were you acting like a cop? Oh, right. I remember this. Man, was it so hard for any of the maps I was looking at to just say, go here? How much harder has Rubicante been over? I mean, I guess Barbaricia. Did we do Barbaricia synced, or has the Discord only done it unsynced? Yeah, is Rubicante that much harder? I have no idea. I haven't even touched it. Oh, sure. Tethers, even. Speaking of warp points in 11. Oh, favorite lore in 11. Oh, God. There are home points, survival guides, geo waypoints. Are there more warp systems? Yes. Yes, there are. There's Unity Warp, which I think is a little broken. You will also find some gear that it has an enchantment that is just teleports you here. There's some really good ones of those that are really handy. Having a Bahamut costume that takes you to Bahamut is pretty nice. Uh-oh. Hey. But yeah, Unity Warp. Finding a cathedral tapestry on the Orcish fighter. Ah! There we go. Oh, they're gonna get me. Ah. There's nothing like finding the home point right before a boss fight. Hello, there's so many people here. I guess they're doing high tier BCNM. Hey. It doesn't look like you've found what you're looking for here either. Yes. I thought that the orcs may have had the sword. But I guess I was wrong. But what is this? This feeling of unrest? Favorite area is Altayu. 100%. C, I guess if you want to call it that. C. I've always resented that. It's just like you said, Rochefon. There's something bigger lurking behind the orcs. Wait, Vodaram. Looks like we have a visitor. An adventurer. Excellent. We have the perfect job for her. Well, I probably should have come in here with more than 100 HP. That's okay. I mean, yeah, I understand that Oshadi's gonna crush this. But I wanna do it with my buddies. We get Lion out here. But also just, I don't know, Ulbuka in general I like a lot of. Though I am a little, I don't know, I have mixed feelings about Ulbuka. Baflau Thickets I think is maybe one of the most beautiful places. It's kind of incredible. You may recognize this model as the Azidahaka, which first appeared in Amdapur Keep. There she is. A nether beast from the cursed Northlands. What's it doing here? The Dark One will soon return to this world. I was merely preparing his return. I'm Spotter, servant of the Shadow Lord. The great hero who saved you 20 years ago is gone. None can defeat my lord now. While your people were squabbling amongst themselves, we've been preparing for his return. And when he comes, he will destroy you all. Enjoy your lives while they last, foolish weaklings. Hui, 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 hui. The Shadow Lord is back. War will come again. Our days will be filled with hatred and sorrow. Chotomomo, you must go back and report on what happened here. Until we meet again, Chotomomo. What's your deal, lady? What's your deal, lady? Uh-oh. Well, don't do that. Castle's Val. Oh, your favorite zone. I mean, man, the atmosphere there is incredible. It's the first time in a long time where I made it to a zone and I felt just the oppressive atmosphere. It's scary. If you're not 100% confident that you're going to be able to survive it, it is very, very cool. What a feeling. And I think the approach to Castle's Val when you're coming through Zarkabard with the like Aurora barrier, I think is so beautiful. I think I have it. I have a fridge magnet of that vista. You still get aggro at 75 too, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Back to Sandoria. Yeah. It's really good. Just wandering around with 20 health. I really have a soft spot for Abyssia zones. I've spent a lot of time in a few Abyssia zones, and I also find it really beautiful. I think the glow. Every time I get Alzadal's Undersea Ruins in 14, I talk about it being based on 11, but people aren't usually interested. Well, good news. I promise it's gonna come out soon, but I'm working on an episode of the podcast that is a guided tour of Alzadal's Legacy. chronicling the many 11 inspirations in it. So if you want to listen to that, be on the lookout for one of the next episodes of Charlie and Dropouts, whenever that is. Oh, though I should say I think we're probably going to record our next episode covering the live letter at the end of the month. Wait, there's a podcast? Don't do this to me. Back to the consulate. I know our 6th episode is going to happen. I promise. Our 6th episode, our Ulzadal's Legacy episode, and our live letter episode. Hopefully I can make all those happen in October. Consulate. Where did we say it was? I've been there. I'm fading fast. I need to finish this. It's right next to me. I'm gonna finish this quest and tap out. I have to run lines tonight too. Followed y'all on Spotify. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yeah, there's a good backlog. If you want even more, patreon.com/bloodgodpod, baby. Again, we're only able to do this 11 streaming series because of our success with our Trans Lifeline Charity Livestream last month. I'm so proud of what we were able to accomplish, and it means we get to play through FF11, and that's fun. Even though none of the other hosts are joining me, it's fine. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. I'm laughing, actually. I think it's so funny. But yes, had a very successful campaign last month and raised almost 20K. And it means we get to do stuff like this. And yes, Charlie and Dropouts will return. Hopefully in about 3 weeks' time. Thank you. All right. Been officially certified by the King of Sandoria. Now all there is to do... Oh, sorry. You've done it again. You've made me proud. You've been officially certified by the King of Sandoria. Now all there is to do is to go home and get your adventurer's certificate, and you'll be an official adventurer. Make haste back to the homeland and go to see Naji by the president's office. He'll be waiting for you. Also, I'd be much obliged if you could bring this report back when you go. Don't forget to give it to him now. Is Mike still an official host? I don't know. He shows up when he can. Back to Bastock we go. Let's go see Naji. Oh, you asked earlier what my favorite piece of 11 lore was. And I don't know. Because I don't know enough. Because it's all really hard to find. The 10th anniversary Vana'diel book. Yeah, those are pretty. I think those are they cost a fair bit now too. Yeah, I was saying on a stream a couple nights ago that the Vana'diel Tribune book that came out in Japan a couple years ago, or whatever, in like several years ago now. Man, that could use a translation, especially because it also includes a bunch of issues of the Tribune that never got released in English in the first place. So, I mean, you could go through that, give a bunch of those a fresh translation, and just have a big tome. So how was it? The orcs in Gelspa or the Yagudo and Gideus give you any trouble? Man, I envy you. I'm a mithril musketeer, but all they make me do is stand guard at that door. Captain Volker and Iron Eater get all the good missions, and Ayame always puts me down. I'm a mithril musketeer, the cream of the crop. Why do I have to do guard duty? It's just not fair. Then perhaps I should order you to sweep the cadaver from Palborough single-handedly. Mr. President. Go back to your post, Najee. That is an order. Sister made you a Majora's Mask tarot deck. Inspired me to want to do an 11 tarot deck. Having trouble picking the cards. There's total lack of lore information on all the wikis, and I can only go off the tiny bits there are. Faulty memory or interpretation. Yeah, I wish there was a better FF11 lore repository. Agreed. We just need a one lore book. That's all. Just give that to us. I shouldn't have to dig through ancient forum posts to find mention of the Mithra homeland to the south, you know? Yeah, there's so many location names and things that don't have Wikipedia entries. There's so much stuff that is lost to just in-game text. And honestly, I think that's kind of fun. It does remind me of early 14 days when, I shouldn't have to sit through 47 hours of cutscenes to find where a single thing is uttered. I know. There is there's that one account that has done the chronicling of 11 cutscenes, and they've done a really, really, really good job. It's amazing. And the fact that they've got like variations on the cutscenes depending on what is flagged and what isn't is really, really incredible. But that being said, that's not a searchable thing, you know, the fact that the script doesn't just exist for us to search the way even 14's does for the most part. Yeah, it's tough. Let's talk about the state of the kindred. You mean that someone is leading the Beastmen hordes, then? Lucius, speak with Volker about this and come back when you have a plan to deal with this situation. And do not forget to watch the cadaver. I've spared you all the time I can. Lucius, stay and see what sense you can make of this, and do spare me all the trivial details when you report to me. one of the things I'm trying to find lately is there was a panel. I've mentioned this a few times now. The 2007 FF11 Fan Fest panel, where Iwao came and showed off like a chronological history of Vana'diel and important battles throughout history and the migrations of all the races across the continents for like the last, I guess, 800 years or whatever. And the slides, I've found photos of the slides that are blurry and taken from a bad angle, but I'm really trying to find clean versions of those. Because, like, you know, I can still read the text on them, but it would be nice to be able to have clean versions of the slides themselves because they have nice art on them and stuff. But yeah, it's interesting. And even the content of the actual panel, I can only find a Japanese article about it and then translated. Yeah. It's, I like to pronounce the qua part of quadav, like the first part of croissant. Quadav. Who could be powerful enough to unite those unruly hordes? Gosh, who could it be? Who's been mentioned? Rank 3. All right. Rank 3. That, as I like to say, ain't nothing. No, I'm not going to Sandoria. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of off time reading old Vana'diel Tribune stuff, and I don't know, there's some good stories in there. Also some good lore drops. But yeah, it would be nice to just give us one Encyclopedia Vana'diel. That's all I need. Please. Let me give this guy some crystals. No, wrong guy. You're my guy. Oh, we've added the excess to your conquest points. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, that was some damn good progress. I feel good about that. Had some lulls where I futzed with maps. Yelled at Zell. Overall, I think we've had a good time. That's going to be it for tonight. I went longer than I thought, and I didn't get as much done as I thought, but I had a damn good time, let me tell you. Any evening with Final Fantasy XI is a treat. You haven't done anything. I was just saying I yelled at you. You've done nothing wrong. You're a precious, gentle little angel. Okay. Well, hey. That's our next rank. Done. Good job, Chotomomo. You're doing great. We'll make a warrior of light out of you yet. All right, I will be back Saturday night. And then I'll also put together the schedule for next week. I'll post that up over on the Discord. Thank you so much to everyone who came out tonight. Thanks, Red Cloud, for sticking around. Great questions. Thanks, everybody else. Enjoy reviewing lines. I'm going to fall asleep with a script in my hand. Hey, boy. Yeah. If you're listening to this in the future, over on the VOD, patreon.com/bloodgodpod. Listen to the backlog of Charlian Dropouts, a Final Fantasy XIV podcast. Go get yourself over to our Discord, where you can also get mad at Zell, I guess. Only $1 a month will get you that privilege. No, don't do that. If you show up, only be sweet and kind to him. Yell at someone else instead. Everyone else is getting off too easy. We need some Discord drama. For only $1 a month, you can become a part of our community and sow unrest. That's my promise to you. Thanks, everyone. See you on Saturday. Have a good night.